Recent quarter, and the company now expects full-year profits to come in well below estimates as well. That sent Target shares tumbling down more than 12% today. And now, as Courtney Reagan reports for us, the company is planning on doing something dramatic to get those shoppers back.
Target's holiday quarter missed the bullseye, and the retailer doesn't expect a turnaround this year. In fact, the opposite. The discounter is reversing course, now forecasting comparable sales and profit to fall. Target laid out its three-year strategy, though it looks a lot like what it and other retailers have already been doing.
We think we've got the right plan in place.
CEO Brian Cornell and other executives detailed Target's plan to invest $7 billion to improve its online operations and delivery, remodel 600 stores, build 100 more small format stores in more populated cities, introduce new brands, and take a hit to margins in order to lower prices. More than a year ago, though, competitor Walmart began remodeling its stores, invest billions in its online operations, and lower prices. And it's paid off in the form of higher sales for Walmart, perhaps in part at Target's expense.
This last year, we remodeled 25 stores. Well, we've got 1,800. Over the next few years, we'll take that learning to over 600 stores. And as we reimagine these stores, we know how the guest reacts. It drives more traffic. It brings our guests back more often. It builds greater engagement. Well, we've got to do that at scale. Now, it's going to take some time.
Target still leans heavily on its network of stores because while e-commerce is a growth spot, it's still only 5% of total sales. Target says both online and in-store are still priorities. And while many are skeptical of the three-year plan, Target CEO says he still has the support of the board.
The board's been incredibly supportive. Obviously, we spent a lot of time with the board prior to today, but I can tell you universally, they support the plan because they know it's the right thing long-term for the company. It's the right thing for the brand, and it's the right thing for our shareholders.
Although shareholders felt differently today as Target's stock price plunged in reaction. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Courtney Reagan in New York City.
So with Target's turnaround plan looking a lot like what others in the industry are doing, is this a race to the bottom for retail? Some answers perhaps now from Joe Feldman. He's Senior Retail Analyst at Telsey Advisory Group. Good to see you again, Joe. Welcome back.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
The CEO says the right plan is in place, but as Courtney pointed out, cutting prices is already being done by a number of Target's competitors. Is that the correct strategy for them, do you think?
Well, I think they need to cut prices to stay competitive and just to keep that gap with those other competitors that are reducing prices. For example, Walmart announced yesterday that they were going to be reducing prices in like 1,200 stores in the Midwest. Kroger's been reducing prices. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. Others are leading this on the price was down, and Target just has to keep up, and that's really part of the pressure for them.
Mr. Cornell pointed out that the board is on board, if you will, with this three-year plan they have in place to turn things around, but clearly Wall Street is not. Stock down 12% today. What do you think Wall Street wants to see Target do?
Well, I think Wall Street wants to see some proof in the pudding. They've had other strategies in place. Some have worked. They've talked about signature categories, core areas like home and apparel, and they've done better there. But there wasn't much discussion of grocery today. During the Q&A at the Analyst Day, they talked about grocery a little bit, but that's like 35–40% of the store, and there wasn't much answer there as to what's going on. And I think the Wall Street wants to hear and see more proof that some of these strategies are going to pay off. And we need time to see that happen. But, as of today, people don't want to give them that time. And the visibility for the next couple of years is still pretty limited.
The company pointed out a 34% online sales growth metric, which they say validates their performance or that model of their performance. But they're going up against the likes of an Amazon.
Yeah, and look, their growth is very strong right now, and it is off a smaller base. But they've been capturing a little more share. Then you kind of wonder, but are they taking some share that they would have otherwise gotten in the store? Mm-hmm. They need to have both, as do most retailers, and they are closer to the consumer than most retailers, given 1,800 stores or so. But I feel like they're sort of sandwiched a little bit between Amazon and Walmart. And they have a decent overlap with both customer bases on the higher and the lower end of their customer spectrum, and that's created a lot of pressure for them. And that's really where Target sits right now, and I think they're trying to find ways to differentiate to drive that customer, the core customer, back in the store and to spend more.
All right, we will be following the story. Joe, thank you very much. Joe Feldman with Telsey Advisory Group.
Target is not the only company cutting prices to lure consumers, as we just talked about. So are discount brokers.